Every morning, in cities and villages across the world, the same small ritual begins. A kettle boils, a machine hums, a cup fills with a dark, warm liquid. The smell spreads through kitchens, cafes, and streets. Eyes open, minds become clear. Coffee begins the day. But coffee is more than a drink. It is a quiet companion to our thoughts. It helps us wake up, talk, write, work, and dream. It brings people together at tables and counters. It sits beside books, computers, and conversations. Yet this daily habit started long ago, in a place far from busy cities. Its story begins with curiosity, nature, and a boy watching his goats. Let us travel back in time. High in the green mountains of Ethiopia, the land moves like a slow ocean. The grass is thick and soft. The air is clean and cool. Wild flowers grow in bright colors, and birds sing from tall trees. In this peaceful land lived a young goat herder named Kaldi. Every day, Kaldi walked with his goats through the hills. He listened to their bells and felt the wind on his face. He knew when they were calm, and he knew when something was wrong. One afternoon, the goats began to act strangely. Instead of resting, they jumped. Instead of eating slowly, they ran from bush to bush. Their eyes were bright. Their bodies were full of energy. Kaldi followed them and saw what they were eating, small red berries on a green bush. The berries shone in the sun. Curious, Kaldi picked one and tasted it. At first, it was bitter. Then, warmth spread through his body. His heart beat faster. His mind felt awake. Surprised and excited, Kaldi took the berries to nearby monks. They lived in a quiet place of prayer. One monk tried to use the berries to make a drink. When he heated them, the smell filled the room rich, dark, and deep. They crushed the beans, added hot water, and tasted the drink. It kept them awake through the night. And so, from a boy's curiosity and a goat's strange dance, coffee entered the human story. Across the Red Sea, in the dry mountains of Yemen, the air was warmer and the land more silent. The hills were brown and rocky. The towns were small but full of spiritual life. Here lived the Sufis, Muslim mystics who search for truth through prayer, music, and long nights of meditation. They needed focus. They needed to stay awake. When coffee arrived from Ethiopia, they welcomed it. They learned to roast the beans carefully. They crushed them into fine powder. They boiled them slowly in water. The smell rose into the night air, strong, earthy, and comforting. They drank coffee together before prayer. Their eyes stayed open. Their minds stayed calm. Their hearts felt light. Coffee became part of spiritual life. From Yemen, traders carried beans to Mecca, Cairo, and beyond. Ships crossed seas, caravans crossed deserts. Coffee began to move with people, ideas, and stories. It was no longer just a local secret, it was becoming a global discovery. In the 1500s, coffee reached Istanbul, the great capital of the Ottoman Empire. The city stood between east and west. Minarets rose into the sky. Markets were full of color, sound, and smell. Here, the first true coffee houses were born. They were warm, wooden rooms with cushions on the floor and lamps on the walls. Men gathered to drink coffee from small cups. The smell of roasted beans mixed with smoke and spices. People talked. They talked about business. They talked about poetry. They talked about the Sultan and the future of the empire. Coffee houses became places of ideas. This made some leaders nervous. They saw people thinking too freely. They feared that coffee was not just waking bodies but waking minds. Some rulers tried to close the coffee houses. They banned coffee. They punished drinkers. But coffee was stronger than fear. People met in secret. They brewed it quietly. They shared stories in low voices. Soon, the bans ended. Coffee houses stayed. They had become the living heart of the city. When coffee arrived in Europe, many people did not trust it. It was black, it was bitter, it came from Muslim lands. Some even called it the drink of the devil. Priests warned against it, and doctors argued about its effects. But fear slowly gave way to curiosity, and curiosity opened the door. In Venice, traders sold coffee to rich families who drank it in quiet rooms filled with mirrors and silk. In London, coffee houses opened on busy streets. For the price of 1 penny, you could drink coffee and listen to educated people talk. These places were soon called penny universities. Writers, scientists, sailors, and thinkers met there. They read newspapers, they shared news from far countries. They argued about science, politics, and art. In these coffee houses, the air was thick with sound and thought. You could hear spoons touching cups, pages turning, and voices rising in debate. The smell of coffee mixed with ink and paper. People leaned forward as they spoke, their eyes bright with ideas. A young writer might read a poem aloud. A scientist might explain a new discovery about the stars. A merchant might describe distant lands and strange inventions. In these rooms, people felt free to question old beliefs and imagine new futures. The Enlightenment was born in coffee houses. In Paris, cafes became places of revolution. In Vienna, people added milk and sugar, making coffee softer and sweeter. Coffee became part of daily life across Europe. Europe learned that coffee did not only wake the body, it woke the future. During the Industrial Revolution, machines filled cities with noise and smoke. Trains, factories, and offices changed the rhythm of life. People worked longer hours and lived faster days. They needed energy to keep moving. Coffee became the fuel of modern life. Workers drank it early in the morning. Clerks drank it at their desks. Writers drank it late at night. Students drank it before exams. Coffee helped people stay focused in a world that was becoming louder, quicker, and more demanding. Then came instant coffee, quick, easy, and cheap. Hot water and a spoon were enough. Coffee entered every home, every kitchen, every office break room. It became part of daily routine, like brushing your teeth or checking the time. In the 20th century, cafes changed again. They became places to study, work, and relax. Companies like Starbucks turned coffee into culture, not just a drink, but an experience. People did not only buy coffee, they bought atmosphere, music, comfort, and time. In the 21st century, coffee is also a language of identity. People choose their drink the way they choose clothes or music. A strong black coffee may say, "I like things simple." A sweet latte may say, "I enjoy comfort." In cafes, people sit with headphones, notebooks, and glowing screens. Some are studying, some are working, some are dreaming. The smell of roasted beans floats through the room, mixing with the sound of typing and quiet conversation. Even when people sit alone, they are together in the same warm space, connected by the silent rhythm of coffee. From a boy and his goats in Ethiopia, to monks in Yemen, to thinkers in Europe, to students in cafes today. Coffee has always followed the same path, from curiosity to connection. When we drink coffee, we do not just wake up. We join a long human conversation. A conversation made of stories, ideas, and shared moments. Coffee also teaches us something simple but powerful, that small things can change the world. A few red berries on a quiet hill became a drink that connects billions of people. Across languages, borders, and beliefs, coffee gives us a shared moment. We pause, we breathe in the smell, we look up from our worries. In that pause, conversation begins. Sometimes it is light, sometimes it is deep. But it is always human. Coffee reminds us that progress does not only come from big machines or loud ideas. It often begins with calm attention, warm hands around a cup, and the courage to listen to one another. So next time you hold a warm cup in your hands, breathe in the smell, feel the heat, listen to the sounds around you. You are not just drinking coffee, you are drinking history.